Do as I say, not as I do. That is probably the case with Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang right now. He is selling Nvidia stock at an astonishing rate, 120,000 shares every single day the market is open. I'm going to dig into what we know about Wong selling based on SEC filings that have come out recently. And these filings are coming out on almost a daily basis. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that Nvidia stock is going to drop in the near future, but I am going to give some historical context to when Wong was selling most recently. That was when the stock was peaking in 2021, before Nvidia stock had its last major drawdown. I'm going to get into all that today. My name is Travis Hoium. Thanks for watching Asymmetric Investing. Please subscribe here on YouTube for all my content, and thanks to this video sponsor, The Motley Fool. If you go to fool.com/ASYM, they'll give you their top 10 stocks to buy right now. First, let's get into where you find this information. Now, to find every single transaction that an insider makes, all you need to do is go to the SEC filings page of the investor relations website. You can just type in Nvidia SEC filings, and it will take you right to this page. This is every single filing, and these come out on basically a daily basis. A Form 4 is going to be a past sale of stock by an insider, and a Form 144 is going to be plans for a future sale of stock. I'm going to start with one of the most comprehensive. That is a Form 144 that Jensen Huang filed on September 5th. The reason that this one is so interesting is it actually gives a history of all of his sales over the past few months. So the intention was just to sell 120,000 shares of stock, aggregate value of about $13 million. Now, remember I said he is selling 120,000 shares of stock every single day. So he's selling about $13 million worth of stock, depending on the stock price, every single day. Approximate date of the sale on this one was September 5th. The other thing that insiders need to say if they're going to file one of these 144s is, what securities have you sold in the past 3 months? This is where you can go through and look at everything since June 13th. Now, Jensen Huang put a trading plan in place earlier this year, and that is what's being executed. That's why the security amount is 120,000 shares every single day that the market is open. You can see these numbers vary depending on where the stock price is trading, but you can go through every single day since mid-September, and he is selling stock consistently 120,000 shares all the way through September 4th. Remember I said that this filing was for September 5th. What happened after that? Continued to sell. This is noting a disposition or sale of stock. An A in this column would be an acquisition of stock. And here, if you click on this number 1, this is a reported transaction effective pursuant to a 10b5-1 trading plan opted by the reporting person on March 14th, 2024. Now, I will note that he is selling 120,000 shares every day, but still owns or controls over 76 million shares. So his stake in Nvidia is so big that he is just selling a fraction of it, despite being over $10 million every single day. This one shows the transactions on September 4th and September 5th. You can go to the next one that has September 6th and September 9th. Add all these up and you get about 120,000 shares every day. And finally, this is the latest one, September 10th and September 11th. Continued to sell shares. And you can see that the price really is volatile depending on where Nvidia's stock price is trading. Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/ASYM for the top 10 stocks to buy right now. Now, insiders sell stock for all kinds of reasons, and especially at these big tech companies, when a founder owns a huge chunk of the company, there's often a plan put in place to just liquidate that slowly over time. Bill Gates had this with Microsoft, Jeff Bezos has the same thing with Amazon, but they're both basically retired, not really involved with those companies anymore, at least on a day-to-day basis. Jensen Huang is running Nvidia and knows everything about what's going on with the company. So what is his history of stock sales? This is a chart that was put together by Guru Focus, and I think this is really telling because it shows that he started selling a huge amount of stock recently. Now, remember, the volume of sales is going to be up about 10x because of the stock split that happened earlier this year. So this column on the right is going to be a little bit higher simply because of that split. But he has been selling basically since the stock peaked earlier this year. He sold barely any shares throughout 2023 and 2024, but he was selling shares in 2021 and up to late 2022. The reason that I highlight this is look at Nvidia's stock price over that period of time. This chart goes from the beginning of 2021 through January 2023. And you can see that the stock peaks in December 2021. Over the next few months, Nvidia dealt with oversupply of their products. They had write-downs. We don't remember that now because the AI boom happened after this. But even Nvidia didn't see that coming. At that point, they were still talking a lot about the metaverse and gaming applications. You can go back and look at what Jensen Huang was talking about in both conference calls and in Nvidia's own presentations at that period of time. So the stock dropped 60 or 70% over the next year or so. And then it wasn't until ChatGPT came out, that was late in 2022, that Nvidia's stock absolutely skyrocketed. But again, Wong was selling at the peak when there was peak demand. There was demand for chips for Ethereum proof of work. Gaming was going crazy at that period of time. And tech spending overall was at a peak. But he was selling at those high points and then coincidentally didn't sell. But that selling trend did not continue. It was not a plan to just sell 120,000 shares of stock every single day between 2021 and today. That plan to start selling again only started earlier this year. So when insiders sell, we should at least take notice. Again, it's not necessarily a huge sell sign. Jensen Huang is still very involved in Nvidia, still owns a huge stake in the company. But when he sells shares of stock, it typically indicates that it's at a peak of the market. He was selling in 2021. He's now selling in 2024. Does that mean that Nvidia shares have gotten overvalued? That there's some sort of drop in demand or margins coming in the future? Or is this a case where he's seeing the rising stock price, the growth that the company has, the expanded margins, and saying, hey, this isn't going to get any better. This is the top of the market where it got a huge price to sales multiple of 30. That is just an incredibly high multiple for any company, especially the size of Nvidia. And there's already indications that margins are going to start to come down. So maybe he's cashing out at the peak. We will have to wait and see, but I think investors at least need to take note of what founder and CEO Jensen Huang is doing, and he is selling at an absolutely astonishing rate and turning that net wealth into cash. But let me know what you think about Jensen Huang's massive stock sales in Nvidia. Leave those comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Asymmetric Investing. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you here next time.